Blaney went to move up, make a pass. Byron blocked him, got him really.
Oh, Byron Blaney
turned
into the wall.
Kyle Busch.
And just like last year, Blaney gets caught up in the big one.
All right, it all starts. It starts with the Blaney behind William Byron. He goes to make a move. Byron with a big block. Watch this. Kind of a late block. Got him stacked up. Went back to the bottom. Side draft and then just stacked him up behind him.
Kyle Busch got into the back of the 24 and turned him sideways. Yeah, and what's going to happen here is Brad Keselowski's into the back of the 8, you can see the flames coming out of Kyle Busch's car, trying to keep from getting into the back of the 24, but the 6 is pushing Kyle Busch so hard that he can't get checked up. You saw the flames come out of the pipes.
Kyle Busch around.
Yeah, this has been a bad day for Kyle Busch.
It's really been a bad weekend. Really, from the time they unloaded this number 8 car has not performed like he wants it to. We've heard him complaining a lot on the radio and lots of changes on the team, but they've definitely had a struggle to the weekend.
Oh, you see him right there in the middle of the racetrack, just starts to come around on him. Got it caught up, had to correct it. Got up in the car on the outside of him. And, man, it's just a handful of a race car.
Pretty much the same spot that Derek Kraus had his issues earlier when the car stepped out.
Turn 3.
And a spin in turn 2, and it's Kyle Busch.
And it's down. The right rears finally blew out on him. I don't think he's the only one. Denny Hamlin was in trouble getting into 3. Kyle Busch in 2.
Kyle Busch going around in turn 2 is the reason for the look. There's no tire left on that right rear.
Gibbs restarted 28th, and around goes Kyle Busch in turn 2. Caution waves.
Stepped out from underneath of him. Win all by himself. I see the tires still up.
Yeah, we saw so many guys have trouble with that in qualifying yesterday. They'd run one hard lap in, and then the second lap into turn 3, it would just slide out from underneath them as they go off into the corner. This is kind of a rhythm section here through 17, 18. Uh-oh. Got Kyle Busch around. Yeah, and so on the entry to that corner, Kyle was splitting that curb.
And moments ago, Christopher Bell to Kyle Busch.
Not clear.
Caution. Tell you what's there is a caution.
Caution at lap 170, and this is the 3rd caution of the night.
Way up out of the groove. You see him heading north. Man, it's almost like a brake issue or maybe a right front down, Kevin.
Yeah, the car definitely went straight.
Not a right front.
Oh.
Well, it got worse. Obviously, he was saying that it kept getting tighter and tighter. That's a pretty typical thing, getting tied off of 2 and then snapping loose.
Ooh. I don't know, Clint.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Off turn 4 for the final time.
Comes a run by Brad. There he goes to make his move. He's going to switch back over.
Oh, the block, and around goes the 34. And Reddick steals one.
That was almost exactly how Brad won this race, his first race. Huge wreck here, guys. Dowell blocks him high, goes to the bottom, and look at the energy coming with Gregson. Brad was able to utilize that block, pushes him, and that was one block too many on McDowell's behalf. Turned him around.
And look at Reddick. Maintain his foot on the floor and shoot through as mayhem develops behind. The first 4 cars get by unscathed. Reddick, Keselowski, Gregson, and Berry.
That's going to be a half a second by the time we get.
Oh, Kyle Busch.
Well, that's going to take care of all that conversation.
Stepped out from underneath him. Well, we were just talking about Kyle Larson's car and just probably getting light on its feet right there, and that one did as well.
Tons of shifting. Look at this. Now he's got Elliott in front of him.
4th place at stake. Oh, and Larson's in the wall.
Larson loose under Kyle Busch, got into him. They're both in the wall.
Was frustrated with Larson. You see him way down the racetrack. Let's hear what he said.
I mean, he turned into me.
Yeah, he routed you down. Total idiots.
Well, there's two sides to every story, but that's certainly the one side that we saw.
Yeah, you see that little contact. I think that ticked Kyle off right there, and then right there. Yeah, I think he just got frustrated and got them both wrecked.
Well, Chastain and Busch got together.
Oh my God!
Imagine that.
For fifth.
Drivers drive like it's always the last lap anyway.
Up into the wall in turn 2, and that's Noah Gragson and, oh boy, Kyle Busch. Third caution has come out now. Let's take a look at what happened.
Kyle Busch on the bottom of Noah Gragson. It's kind of hard to tell. I couldn't tell if Kyle got up the racetrack. Either way, contact sends them both around.
Caution comes out.
This has been a few weeks that Kyle Busch wants to forget.
And a track you might never want to come back to. Take another look. What happened?
It's hard to tell. They're 2 and 3 wide off there. Definitely some contact with the 47. But I don't know. You know, that's at the end of it. I'm not sure how we got there. I mean, look, they're 4 wide at this point. All right, so that looks, yeah, that looks like 4 wide trying to get to 2 wide. The 41 is catching the 47.
They're trying to cool them off to make sure they don't wear out quickly. Now, this was a very strange event right along. I don't know if he had a mechanical issue, if he had some sort of, I don't know. It's hard to imagine.
2 to go from Nashville. The 5 doesn't go. They bottle up behind him. Big wreck for the 8. 5 just doesn't go.
Yeah, he goes to the throttle and has no fuel, so it just won't go. And Kyle Busch, just nothing he could have done. Nothing anybody behind him could have done.
Big run by some of those cars in the back and around into the field. The 8 of Kyle Busch was the one who went down and came back up. Harrison Burton sliding down. It's very close there.
On the bottom of the racetrack, then a block from LaJoie. LaJoie gets into him. Kyle Busch blocked him, and LaJoie just ran into him, to be honest with you. I'm not saying he meant to do it, but I want Blaney to be looking in the mirror to distract him.
Coming out. Oh, we've got a caution that comes out. It's the 8 of Kyle Busch. Now there's going to be more. Let's ride along.
Oh,
contact with the 11.
Oh, it's been that kind of year. Kyle Busch just cannot have anything go right. See how low he enters? See his car coming up the racetrack? His entry was so low because of the block that he wasn't able to make the corner, and that's what I kept talking about Blaney. What he was able to do is enter that low and still stay on the bottom.
Denny Hamlin doesn't look good. Yeah, Denny Hamlin's coming my way. Kyle Busch, you can see the damage on his car, left rear quarter panel, but they got through there clean. Back here a little bit further, you see a little tire lock up, a little bit of smoke, and then right there, kind of all on his own, the 8 gets spun around, and they pile in. Such a fast area of the racetrack.
Corey LaJoie in the 7. Watch on the outside too, Kyle Larson got extremely lucky. That's the moment where Busch gets turned. Christopher Bell, look at him go sideways and around.
Chris Buescher breaks away with the lead again. Hocevar trying to hang on to second. He'll chop off Shane Van Gisbergen. But here's SVG on the attack. He'll look to the outside for a moment. And there's trouble further back. Tyler Reddick's around. Kyle Busch is involved. That's Reddick in the 45 and Busch in the 8.
It looked like the 38. It starts with the 38 trying to get over for turn 2. He contacts the 9, who gets somebody to his left right there.
Got Elliott.
Yeah, Elliott who gets Barry, and then they stack up. Truex, pretty hard damage into the wall. We'll see if the 19 has to come to the attention of the crew, and Reddick finally gets turned around on the nose of the 8.
But now Briscoe up to the top. No, he doesn't. Oh, he pitches him off.
Whoa, in the wall! Busch is gone! It's over for Kyle Busch.
Let it roll. Caution is out.
A day that looked like a dream run
And maybe a victory run has come to an end.
Right here, Briscoe gives him the top. Kyle Busch, good forward momentum. Here comes Briscoe up the racetrack.
I mean, Briscoe gave him 95% of a lane. I'm not sure it was a whole car width, and the 8 lost control. I mean, you see it gasses up. He's going to try to get to the outside of the 14 if there's room for a car there, which I think there is. It's by like a few inches.
Yeah, it's a few inches, and the problem was that Kyle Busch couldn't be patient in that situation because of the fact Chastain being right behind him. He thinks Briscoe's giving him the top, and he's not. And the way Briscoe entered turn 1, I would have thought if I was Kyle Busch that Briscoe is going to give me the top.